Hello everyone, and welcome to Stygian, Outer Gods. A survival horror Lovecraftian, somewhat RPG, in which we go searching for the unknown in a town that's been devastated by some plague. Now, I previously played an earlier test build of this, and by the way, thank you so much to the developers and publishers for providing me with early access both then and now. And I had an absolute blast with it. During my time with it, I found it creepy and mysterious, and at times tense and terrifying. But I think what I liked the most about its approach to Lovecraftian horror was how the decisions we make actually influence how we build our character, even in our dialogue choices, in the sense of deciding whether we have an open mind. What we do with our mind and how closely we guard it is a precious thing. A more open mind may be more willing to accept the horrors, but is that something we want? I guess we'll find out. The gameplay is also very open, so there's a lot of freedom in how we approach our various obstacles. I had a lot of fun with it the first time I played, and I can't wait to get started again. It seems like our save is still intact, but I'm going to start a new one. Easy. The unknown terrors are less punishing, allowing you to focus on unraveling the mystery. Normal. Face a steady mix of exploration and challenge as the unknown looms just close enough to keep you on edge. And hard. The veins of Kingsport will pump out bigger threats and obstacles. A war between the unknown and your mortality. Let's go with normal.
Wake up, Jack. Wake up.
Angular structures, black sand coating the ground. We may be on the astral plane. Although we're probably a little early in history for the Federal Bureau of Control to come help us. With F, we can pull out our lighter.
It's not real. Open your eyes, you fool.
You may open your eyes and see nothing, but your ears don't deceive. Nope. That thing looks so tiny in your fingers. Losing that one bit of light is not what I want right now. It's branching off. That looked like some kind of a lizard creature with a long, scaly tail.
What? Where have I seen this? Have I?
After all that time in the cave, stepping out was blinding. I think we may have entered the utility room.
Oh, deja vu. I can almost hear his voice. Don't think, Jack. That's your mercy.
Just don't think about it. In other words, the advice is to steal our mind, close ourselves off. I imagine there are pros and cons to either way of dealing with this. Also, you're telling me deja vu. Of course, I have played this early part of the game before. If you want to see my true first reactions, the link to my first video on the early build will be in the description. Oh, look at that. Carrying things is physicsy. There's already one in this slot here, so I guess I need to find more. That looks like one.
Take it, Jack. Touch it. What does it mean?
That's what I'm trying to learn. There's another one through there. We're calling out to the void.
first sanctuary of the Mbangu. Was it?
So you're no stranger to the strange.
No! Please! Father! One day I'll have a quiet night. Probably when I'm dead. Need to wash. Victoria will be here soon. After all these years.
I want to live here. Look at this place. The wood furniture and brick fireplace. This is my kind of study. And if we have a look out the window... Yep, there's London in the early 1900s. The only thing that doesn't set it even earlier is that car waiting out there. I'm sorry, can you please just let me enjoy this atmosphere for just a moment longer? If this were my study, I'd never leave. I'd just keep studying. Mr. Harrison, I'm glad you finally answered my call. I've been ever so patient. Apologies, I've been busy. I shall sort my father's affairs next week. His affairs will not matter soon. Can you feel it within? The stirring begins. Sorry? Who the hell is this? Answer me this. Is chaos a necessity for a well-oiled world? And here's, I think, where we make the first of our decisions about our openness to the chaos, to the strange. We could say chaos is a scourge, an unnecessary annoyance, like this call. Or, I would say we cannot exist without a modicum of it. What is this about? And that's what I will choose. Find me beyond the gate, before the black day. Yep, the eyes saw your choice. Somewhere Clementine will remember that. Is this some kind of joke? I'm too tired for this nonsense. A deadline meets your irritation, sending an ominous chill up your spine. The caller is gone. Oh, that was strange.
What a journey. Africa proved to hold our best and worst expedition.
You mentioned Africa in your vision just there, your dream. So we found something there, maybe? Maybe lost someone as well.
Covered so much of this over the years. Some of the places won't even be on here.
October 3rd, 1920. Dear Jack, years have passed since our teenage escapades, so forgive my unexpected intrusion. I write with a strange request. Miskatonic University is funding an expedition to the fabled Kingsport, and I want you to join me. Stanley is unavailable, but suggested you may be interested when I share what he had discovered. Your skills would be invaluable, and did we not always make a fine team? I shall visit in a week. Victoria Friedkin. Oh, look, we've got an inventory down below. Our slot for a lighter, 2 slots for weapons, and a utility belt with 4 slots. I guess we've been an avid hunter as well. And besides, what would a place like this be without dead things on the walls? Look, we can see the gradient from cool air outside to the warmth of the fire.
Cold in here. Need to find that damn draft.
That we do. Is there anything else we can examine before we keep going? Occult books.
Father's occult nonsense. I'll stick to the United Amateur.
So by default, we don't necessarily believe in this stuff, but we were probably exposed to it through our father. Working reflections. A sack of flesh stares back, worn by years of intensity. The expeditions, the war, the nightmares. You ponder the truth behind the reflection. My metal. Something sets me above other fleshly beings. And here's where we can choose our starting points. Vitality comes naturally. I'm healthier than my kin. My brain is sharp yet hardy. A blade and shield in one. I'm unexpendable. Nothing can slow me down. And I am who I am. No changes. I'm gonna say my brain is sharp yet hardy. It can avoid a lot of tougher things if you can be smart about objectives. Sanity increased by 20. Yet balance in all. The thing that sets me below my carnal ilk. I've always felt sickly, weighed down by my own flesh. Or energy evades me. My living hours are taxing and slow. I'm gonna say I've always felt sickly. I imagine that means I'll have less health, but, well, being able to run means we can fight another day. Health decreased by 20. That is scary to see in red letters. Fright is a natural response to mortality, but I do not fear. Nature's harsh touch, war on the mind, or infliction of pain. Part of me wants to min-max this, and part of me also wants to roleplay a bit. I mean, nature's harsh touch. Look at that jacket we're wearing. You know we're an outdoorsman. We know we could be the protagonist of a Jack London novel. Cold resistance increased by 10, and fire by 10. Those are statistics I didn't even know existed. I don't believe these on-screen stats were a thing when I last played. This vacant gap of fear must be filled, as I've discovered. By what? The degradation of my flesh, perhaps? Physical resistance decreased by 10. My adventurous youth bore much curiosity. Above all, one thing intrigued me most. People and how to work them. The intricate battle with locks and what they hide. And the very thing I dislike. The occult. The unknown. Now that is interesting. We could be better with lockpicks or with convincing people, but the thing I dislike, well, not only is it more thematically relevant, I sort of like the idea of you grappling with believing that the occult is preposterous and finding yourself surrounded by it. So let's do that. Occult skill level increased by 1. I tire of this visage before me. But lastly, something impedes my interests. The complexities of the humans around me, and when I cannot be my own key to a lock. Let's say the complexities of the humans around me. I see myself, Jack Harrison, tired and aged, wearing the past. I think I'm gonna go back and, lockpicking may be more relevant, but I think speech will open more opportunities. So I'm gonna do all the same except that. Yes, that's me.
Up. I'm awake. I'm awake.
The fire's been blown out. And the curtains drawn. Also some other stuff.
You've lost it.
Seer's card. Oh, and here is where we choose what are essentially perks, known here as talents. Heavy Strike allows the performance of heavy attacks within melee combat. Stealth Master makes walking completely silent. Perfect Block allows the performance of a perfect block if timed correctly. Speak with Dead allows the ability to speak with the willing dead. Leverage allows the lifting of heavier objects. Backstab increases damage dealt from behind. Artifact knowledge allows the usage of artifacts. And attentiveness highlights interactive items while scrying, but we require the scry skill. And this is what I really like about the RPG elements in this. Not just that our decisions in dialogue affect the way our character progresses, but the fact that all the different perks and talents that we get change gameplay fundamentally. They're not just like a few % more in this category or like slightly more damage or defense. That stuff exists, but these things, they change our abilities and the way we approach things. They can even change our whole path through the game, I imagine, but Stealth Master, I've always got to go with that. It keeps me out of combat. And some of the other things we can get later. It's all about prioritization. What will I need the most and earliest? You know, it's kind of funny. The wind has sort of died down the last month or so. Comes back right as I start playing this game again. Like a lonely house in a dead field, probably in the winter. Now that I look closely, it seems like the roof is rotted. Like no one's lived there for some time. There you are.
Jack, are you quite all right? Forgive me for barging in, but I heard the most dreadful shouting.
Victoria, I'm fine. You look well.
I was always attuned to your lies. When your father was still here, he told Stanley, and therefore me, of your otherworldly night terrors. My, it is good to see you.
Bit of a gossip, is Stanley? Okay, so I'm assuming that gold text will mean we move forward. So much for privacy. The dreams are no longer sleep-bound.
Wakeful visions? A troubling notion, yet fascinating. I mean, you are no research specimen, Jack, but the peculiar has always been dear to me, if you recall.
I do. An occult fanatic like my father.
Oh, expert, please. That is why we used to work well. I, the mind. You, the strength. Will you listen to my theory regarding your visions?
You say to my rotting alive character I made? Well, let's hear your theory then. We wouldn't be a good team if I didn't at least entertain you.
From the crumbs I know, it whispers of a place unknown to any map. Imagination, perhaps? But how would you conjure from nothing of our world?
What kind of theory is that?
The one where I berate your creativity. You always lacked openness to the unknown, so your brain pulls from reality. Just a theory.
Your invite, after many silent years. What is this about?
My invite lied. Kingsport's mysteries croon to me, yet Stanley refuses like he's my actual father. You always had my back. I thought it could be the same now.
Stanley doesn't know where you're going?
I'm still difficult, yes. But Stanley clings to this idea that I'm a child to protect. I can make my own choices. With you by my side, his fear is unfounded.
Why me, then?
Most hesitate to utter Kingsport, so convincing them is a trial. Plus, my trust is sparse. We are estranged, Jack, but not strangers. I hope.
Alright, I'll bite. You need a skeptic.
But in case my hopes dash against the rocks, your father is alive. Stanley insists Percival is in Kingsport. If not for me, come for him.
Victoria, this isn't another deception, right?
Lies are easy. We fatten ourselves on them. But I would not feed you such a trick, Jack. I could not.
Impossible. But if Stanley believes so, when do we depart?
There's that spark of enthusiasm, just as I remember. A sturdy little vessel waits at the docks for us, and a few other curious minds. Then, Kingsport.
Assembling a party, huh? I hope none of them are deaf. Reading lips would be difficult.
Our journey will not be short. The waters of Arkham are restless. Are you ready for an adventure? Like old times?
I'd like to talk about Kingsport for a moment. Just what is this place? Why do people dare not utter its name?
A quaint little town, draped in the weight of its own strange past. A haven for occult whispers.
Tell me about the town itself.
Exiled from common thought, a place unseen unless sought. I have borrowed Stanley's notes on the town. The locals sound queer, but amiable.
Tell me more about the occult whispers.
Are you certain? The mind is designed to recoil from such. Yours... let's just say you lacked flexibility.
Try me. And here we see that this dialogue is a skill check. She speaks in an inhuman tongue, but then your ears obey. Also, this may be a bit of a bug. I am playing this like a couple weeks before it comes out. Answered the knock, and in crawled the mist. Kingsport is enslaved by the stars. Maybe our skepticism allows us to be more attuned in some ways? A bit disturbing, and I don't know how long I can remain a skeptic with things like that, but you said there are others coming?
Others drawn to the town's shrouded embrace. There's talk of a detective, a bizarre doctor, and a mechanic called Anthony. A pleasant man of Arkham.
I think that's enough right now.
Our journey will not be short. The waters of Arkham are restless. Are you ready for an adventure? Like old times?
Like old times. Let's go. A month's search, a bond on lost. In the eye of the storm, Kingsport watched.
Victoria! Victoria! By some cruel mercy, I'm alive.
Sturdy vessel, huh? Whatever happened there wasn't even down to Lovecraftian horrors. It was just poor navigation. You could have seen that coming a mile away. Then again, I've got to give you props for managing to sail your way through the flooded remains of this town. Look. This right here wasn't always a dock, but it has been submerged long enough for barnacles to have grown all over it. Well, here we are. We seem to have lost some time as well. I made it to Kingsport. Somehow in one piece after that catastrophe. I need to find Victoria. I pray she has gone further inland, and that the waves haven't consumed her. Welcome to Kingsport. Population... well, now it's
Kingsport
34.
Looks deserted. Is that a corpse? Where in the hell have I washed up?
Looks like they may have had problems even beforehand. Or maybe this is just a way of showing what they do to pirates.
The fabled Kingsport. Already writhing with strangeness.
I think I'm gonna need that from you, bud. Look, it's like someone lit a candle for you relatively recently. Like you're what's meant to greet people to this town, like you were expecting us. The size of this thing compared to your neck, I'm surprised that wasn't a decapitation right there. Oops. Don't know my own strength.
Another body.
Dearest Mark, a small check-in. I pray that Charlie remains well, for the open air must surely be kinder than the war's ashen remnants. How fares little Joanna? Does she remain a cherub, or has the untamed spirit of childhood risen? It seems she's been a true guiding light to Charlie. I await word of his progress. As ever, my deepest gratitude, Marie. Now, I expect this early game will move a little bit faster, as I did only recently play it. But after that, we are on our own again. At least I don't have to work out how everything works. The wan hue of pain colors the man's sickly skin. As he shifts, you notice a deep gash under his shirt, still weeping life's essence. Sir, my name is Jack. I'm here to help. Mark? Mark, is that you? Has Joanna returned? There's naught but void. Why can I see nothing? Help me, Mark. What's your name? Granny, age is catching you. But little Joanna? Oh, she never forgets. Never forgets Charlie. How'd you get such a nasty wound? I don't feel too well. A coil in my belly. I don't want your vitamins, Granny. Who are Mark and Joanna? Don't send me back, Mark. I want to stay. Joanna wishes me to. Don't you? You're completely out of it. I'll find something to stem the wound. Okay, so here I believe we need to find some objects so we can craft ourselves a bandage. That requires a couple more rags. We can also make a lockpick if we can find ourselves some wire coils. It also seems like the recipes may have changed just a little bit. I mean, not that it makes a difference. There we go. We do have hit markers, and hitting consumes stamina. So we'll want to be careful, measured in combat. Hear that? There's a mangy dog right there. Now remember, if we want to be stealthy, we're completely silent while walking. I don't know if crouching makes any difference at that rate. Look at this detail. We look down and we can see like little smaller puddles of water, the wetness of the sand, little seashells embedded.
Not deserted after all. At least not by feral mutts.
I'm gonna need to get in there. There we go. Stealth is the way to go. Look at you. You're not a regular dog. I can barely see your eyes. Something's happening, like your skin is trying to tear itself apart. And you're clearly not friendly. Golden teeth. Just a handful right there beside you, eh? If I remember rightly, that serves as the currency for this game. You got anything I can take from you in your house? More rags. A full outhouse with a skull in it. That's the rag we want to use to dress a wound. Wooden crate, we can carry it, so that doesn't count as a larger object. There are certain objects we're simply too weak and sickly to carry. Nothing here. But in this semi-flooded structure, there is another body and a note. Marino, I'll put this plainly. The amendment's been passed, and the powers that be are tightening the noose on all our throats. If you want the supply to keep flowing into that sorry excuse of a pub you call a business, you'll have to cough up. P.S. Don't bother threatening me with Waxface and his goons. Send whatever lackey you want to pick this up. He has no authority in Kingsport. Waxface? So communications between criminals, smugglers. Backspace is a good name for a gangster. Look at you, a totem. The boon is unveiled. Oh, it's showing me where something is. Okay, is that close by? Is that something we can look for now? This is new. I mean, I guess it's kind of a good thing that I don't remember all that much about the specifics of the demo. Then again, I also wasn't able to successfully read that the first time. Right. Is that somewhere we can look right now? Maybe it's for later. We can always come back later. The cool thing about this is that once we get going... Well, I'll explain more as we go. We should have enough now to craft ourselves a bandage. There we go, and then some. Here, I have a bandage. Is Joanna safe? Is she safe? Tell me, did something happen to this Joanna? Mark? Mark, is that you? If I had better speech, I could lie and say, yes, it's Mark, but I'm not going to do that. I wouldn't do that even if I had the speech. It's Jack. Jack, I'm so sorry. It's my fault. Bring her back. The dark weighs on my eyes. Help me. You don't know what he did, but whatever it was, it gnaws at him. A peculiar, twisting guilt. Either way, he won't be long for this world. We could use the bandage on him, or we could keep it knowing that he's a goner anyway. I want to know what's your fault. His breath quickens. You've seen soldiers on the edge like this. They either spill or break. What have you done? The man is getting stressed, his unseeing eyes rolling. Gelatinous marvels. With my low speech, it's not likely to work. Tell me what you did. His unseeing eyes grow distant. A temporary retreat. It is one thing witnessing it within a war-carved soldier, but another when it clouds the gaze of a frail, sick man. You are shut out. It's useless, but I have to do at least this for you. You bind his wound, and his form slackens slightly. With half-lidded eyes, he pulls a key from his pocket. You claim it, as he utters his final words. Thank you. Thank you. I didn't mean to. He was clinging to the hem of life. You've seen too many soldiers taken by the truest sleep. You did what you could. So we got our key, one which we could have easily searched from him, but in his final moments, he had some care. Let's move forward. It's got to be the key to this gate.
Finally, some sign of life. You there! I need help.
Victoria. Well, looks like you not only saved me and survived the crash, but are actually kind of living the high life. This is a nice vacation. With the snow falling outside with a candle beside the window. Steady now. I don't want to see your brain leak out of all your orifices. My head is ringing. You're not fully shielded against the unknown. It's a miracle your brain hasn't outright recoiled. Something is seriously wrong. We need to leave. There are no boats. And do not forget your father. Something dark brews here. But perhaps an opportunity has risen. A true expedition. I know that look. What's your plan? A festering malaise flows from the Brasco's mansion. I can feel it. We must be untouched due to my occult resistance and your fortitude. The Brascos? Owners of the mansion, along with their trade business named, inspiringly, Brascos. A plethora of gossip I can provide later. Is that what was wrong with those women? Madness is a descent, not a conversion. They are witches, likely the town's women unwillingly warped, flocking to the chaos like a summons. You must joke. Witches are stooped hags in fables. Have they charmed you, Mr. Harrison? Careful. They castrate men like you for entertainment. So let's go to the mansion, i.e. not where they are. While you dozed, I snooped. The gate is sealed, and by no mundane means. Occult magic. 3 tablets is what we need to find. The note by the door may help. If my father could see us now... He shall, without surprise. Trouble was our specialty. I wish mine could see me. The real ones, I mean. What would she think? Let's do this. But first I need to get some things clear. Where are the rest of the crew? Anthony's fine. We carried you here, and then he went scouting. The others, I don't know. Are you alright after all this? I mean, I can clearly see you are. The true question is, are you? You're the one diving into the unknown's maw. I asked you first. I suppose I am a little shaken. As much as all this fascinates me, I fear what time holds. This is my fault. I dragged you along. It was my choice. Of course, we make our own path. We are unleashed, and not tugged along to time's decision. What draws your curiosity? What will you be doing while I search? Scrying you with my magic eye, of course. In all seriousness, I'm the occult expert. Researching. Oh yeah, you here doing research. Well, I'll be doing research too. Field research. You know, with all the dangerous animals. Stay safe. Oh, and if you desperately need me but cannot be fussed to trek back, try the phones. Ludicrous, but I have a feeling. You always have a feeling. So here we go, in search of 3 tablets to open the gate, because apparently Resident Evil mansions just exist everywhere in the survival horror genre. Let's get some tunes in here. Do I really need to step outside? I mean, this place is mighty comfy. Could just treat it as a cabin resort.
What a bizarre mirror. Are there shadows beyond the glass? No. Just a trick of light.
I am enamored with the way things are written and expressed in this. But I guess that's just true of literature of the time. We are not getting our deposit back. Anyway, yeah, we save at these mirrors. Having one present essentially means it's a safe house. And I remember we can save more than once. The breaking kind of makes it seem like you won't be able to, but you can. Mark, it's done. That name keeps coming up. Us keepers finally pulled off something worth it. Even that other Brasco Irwin lent a hand. Guess he's come around. Fingers crossed his magic keeps it shut. For safekeeping. Irwin, corporate hovel. Me, next to the king's color. Never ceases to be ugly. Big Joe. Still renting, but says he's got a great idea to hide it. Concerning Vin. So the conspirators are Mark, Irwin, Vin, and Big Joe. Let's get out there. Very hard not to be reminded of Resident Evil Village and all this, isn't it?
A damp map. How convenient.
How convenient indeed. So we are here, and occult oddities down here. That must be a point of interest. Several points of interest. Ooh, and if we look around, we can see the whole town of Kingsport, all ending in the mansion itself. Well, not entirely true. There is some to the side of it. Working our way uphill. Looks like there's a church and some forests and cabins down here. And there's the lighthouse and the entrance to a mine. Well, we will literally cross those bridges when we come to them. There's some rags and scrap metal and something over here. Wire coil, planks. Okay, lots and lots of crafting goods are important. Because this is a real survival horror game. We can fight, and things we kill will tend to stay dead, but that doesn't mean we're not incredibly vulnerable. In other words, there's a reason I chose a stealth perk in the beginning. Of course, I have the benefit of hindsight. Mysterious herb. Okay, I think we can probably use that for making better healables. This town was probably nice once. If we look at our inventory, we have plenty of room. So that's good enough for now. Meanwhile, this door back this way, it is blocked. Maybe we can unblock it from the other side. We could also probably jump down here. And this is where we're starting to get into what I really like about this game. Because of the RPG elements, there are numerous ways for us to approach any obstacles in our path. There's objectives and side objectives that can give us little bonuses, so it's kind of up to us how we proceed. There they are. The witches from before. Now I could just go down there and try to cleave them up, and were I good enough with the knife, I could probably do it. But for now, I think I'd rather avoid them. And this is what I was kind of touching on before. I mentioned before that the gameplay sort of reminds me in a lot of ways of Dishonored. We can carry this. I mean, see what we're doing here. We're sneaking around, we're stacking things up. We're making decisions. By having multiple approaches to a given objective and side objectives around the map, a semi-open world, it makes it feel a lot more like we're the protagonist, like we're involved in this, rather than just going from one scene to the next. It's a style I've always really enjoyed. Yesterday, they sealed the house of my former neighbors, the Collette family. I've been trying to help their sickness, assuming it is a strain of the flu. But modern medications didn't help the delirium. I was informed they've disappeared. In their vulnerable states, they must have wandered into the night and have not been seen since. As free as I am from foolish superstitions, I can't shake one thing. The father kept repeating, "Take our faith." And his youngest boy mumbled about going on the boat. People don't just vanish. Insanity is not a conversion, it's a descent. What happened here didn't happen all at once. We got bottles, we can probably throw those to distract enemies. Brascos. Unfortunately, we don't have the ability to carry heavier items like that. I could try carving through it with a knife, but I don't really want your attention either. Beyond the black day, we wait. The voice on the phone also mentioned the black day, that I had to come before the black day. Some gold teeth, a book, and some rags. Granny's scarf requests. Name Charlie, color yellow. Extra notes, thank you, Granny. To be made. Erwin Brasco requested bright red. Delivered to office, not the mansion. Done. And an unknown name, purple. Extra notes. I admire your work, Mrs. Orne. It will look dreamy with my hat. That order was also filled. Alright, now we have to make a decision. You're out there. You're there. I need you to back up. You need to start walking the other way. Oh, they're spotting me, they're spotting me, they're spotting me. You can see in the top left there's an indicator. Fall bit by bit. I'm just making my way around. Which way are you gonna turn? That perfect. This gate is actually open now. That was not open in the demo. But I guess maybe they wanted us to spend a little more time here. There's an opening here. I could potentially try and take this one from stealth like we did with the dog. Could see what's in this building. This one burned.
The ash is still dry in the air. Or, but a different kind.
Look at that, I just realized we're even leaving wet footprints in the ash. That is really cool. You down? Alcohol, I bet that's used for healing. There's a room here, but it seems to be a dead end. We can lockpick the chest with lockpicking 4. Unfortunately, we don't have anywhere near that. Okay, this is good. Early on, picking up all these materials, learning the lay of the land, that's good. And also learning where the enemies are. This is actually where we just came from. We can slide down here. Ugh, I hope that didn't make too much noise when we broke that bucket. Well, that looks promising. Look, there's been like crude cages constructed. That looks like a much better weapon. Yeah, they were gathering up the villagers and putting them in these things, so they weren't just killed, they were tortured. We saw one in the beginning begging for his life. But can you reason with whatever these things are? Okay, I am going to try to take this one by surprise. It didn't say it when I attacked the dog earlier, but I think in this game, surprise attacks have bonus damage. Oop. Don't come after me. Oh, you are pissed. Oh, you're pissed. Does that yell bring in the others? Okay. Looking at you actually seems to drain our sanity. Which means we can't really square up. Ugh. Oh, look at that. You have your own animation for when you're injured. That's cool. And serves as a nice visual indicator that we are making progress. But even with the sneak attack, even with the headshots, you're really quite tough. So needless to say, we don't want to try and fight 3 of these things at once. Actually, you're slow enough that it seems like running would always be better, but with the dogs, it's probably a different story. Those whispers still linger, but this place seems like it might have been cozy, even nice once.
Impossible. There's no way the phones are live.
The dreaming soldier, the tainted explorer. Good day. Isn't Kingsport quaint? A marvelous seacoast, and the buildings. Antediluvian. You're the one who called my father's house. We had the option to hang up right here. I told you to find me, and here you are, amidst the chaos. You need an ally. Let's say you are an ally. What is this about? The thread is woven and cannot be cut, but maybe it can be rerouted? Go on. Doom or doom, yet one tinted with chance. The soldier and the red mist can choose, but enter they must. Enter what? The phone is silent. You're just gonna keep being cryptic, huh? There's some stains on the floor I don't know if I like the look of. Okay, we don't need 1,000,001 bottles. Village Tavern Inn, guest book. September, guest, Big Joe Littleman, room 3. Check-in, May 5th, extended stay. Check out, we don't know. Paid in cash. Note to staff, do not allow the dark-haired boy upstairs again, unless he has a parent with him. They admitted an unaccompanied minor? Well, I won't lie, with the candles lit, this place is starting to be nicer. Table think.
What I'd give for some fish and chips and a pint. Don't think, Jack.
Now I do wonder just what it is that causes our sanity to restore. It seems like looking at the creatures causes it to go down, but we have gained some back. Maybe it's just slowly over time? The whispers are so deafening, I'm almost unaware of how loud I just was. Beyond the veil of Kingsport. Beyond the veil of Kingsport. Beyond the kiss of mist. O traveler, with whispers you'll tryst. Dreamers aplenty who ramble in folly. They just need their sleep, their thumb and a dolly. I, Captain, the terrible who lives all alone. The old beggar ain't tough, he just needs a crone. And Tabitha, oh Tabitha, paint us a swirl. Your art is so pretty, you sweet redhead girl. Beyond the veil of Kingsport, beyond the kiss of mist. O traveler, you cannot resist. I can imagine that being sung in the late hours of the night, hammering hands on the keyboard. There's something more back here, I think. Yes. Look, that door is probably locked. It is, but there's another way around. The glowing skull. I always wanted one. From the look of the blood on the table and the bones in the sink, it's like you skinned it right here. Somebody's painting symbols on the doors. We can unlock this one from behind. The more we explore, the more easily traversable this will all be, which is really important because we never know when we'll need to run. Utilizing our environment is going to be a big part of success here. We need the triangle key. So when we find these paintings, those will denote what type of key is needed. Another mirror we can save here, and...
For the love of... Why do people tamper with such horrors?
That is a very good question. Sigil rollback. Well, there's a bird skull right here, although what type of bird has a skull that large is beyond me. We got the recipe to make a splint. Okay, so we have to find other crafting recipes. We'll have to keep a lookout, because missing something could mean a major disadvantage later on. There we are. Now keep in mind, I am glossing over certain things because I played this before, but the thing that stands out to me the most is how slow of a burn it is, and how much time it allows you to just kind of stand around taking in the environments, even independent of enemies. I feel like survival horror should have enemies as an element, but not the regular gameplay. I mean, present, sure, you should always feel in danger, but have them be just one side of it, in equal measure with the puzzles and the exploration and the dialogue, and this is a game that I think really does find a good balance. This reacts to your presence, so we'll place you down, and get the other skull from downstairs. You there. I don't know who you used to be, but right now, you're a key. I imagine the last one will have to do with these rooms. God, just everything is creaking. The broken shutters, the creaking shutters, actually, because it's coming from here. This game's sure got atmosphere. To whoever boss sends, I'm chasing down scabs who have taken back that safe we confiscated. They're brewing and peddling unsanctioned drugs. I know it. Had one of them cornered. The little freak spat at me. Even after a beating, all he said was, "The code is invisible to your small mind." I've searched that ugly yellow house from top to bottom. How can it be invisible? The addiction talking, probably. Oh, are you sure about that? Kingsport seems to contain all kinds of wonders. I imagine it has something to do with this right here. The door to room 2 is blocked, but 1... Here we are. You died in here. Maybe starved or dehydrated. I guess when everything started, you just hid. Now will you be good? Yes, sir. Okay, that opens some other avenues of thought. There we go, there's the horned skull. And unfortunately, this isn't Voices of the Void, so we can't take it as a desk ornament. I should have left. The stupid council convinced me to stay. Apparently, we're going to stop it spreading. Idiot. The younger Brasco said his brother's wife is dead. Murdered. Now he wants to help us. Took murder to bring him to sense. I'm waiting for word. One good thing. Frank is still here. He's not the most polite, but once he knew I hated the woman shrieks outside, he came around eventually. Joe, I'm unimpressed you were not in your room when I knocked. playing hero with the other mortals. You shall help me. You will go to room 0, and when I return, you shall listen to my plan. Frank. So this Frank is either a huge edgelord, or in some way immortal. Could be both. Could always be both. I mean, I was immortal in high school, but I was also a huge edgelord. Room 0. So what does rollback actually do? Oh, it sends the bones back to where they came from. Oh, that's probably like an unstuck feature for in case you somehow lose them. But it's of no matter now. The door is here to stay, and there's our boy. The one who wasn't supposed to be here. Even the ownership doesn't seem to know who he is. Look, he's covered in tattoos. And holding some kind of box. A pyramid with eyes along its sides. Just kind of contemplating it, not even acknowledging me as I walk in. Or maybe he's just, amused at the commentary. Another stranger who comes to our world. Who are you? A waste of a question. I've been watching you. And I have my own question you will answer. Quite the assertion. What is that you hold? Are those the eyes? The second gift I have ever received. Though, is it a gift if you take it? Perhaps not. But what does it do? Things your brain cannot compute, nor your flesh withstand. You mortals don't possess the power to handle it. What was your first gift? He gives the most imperceptible nod to his right, without leaving your gaze. Now you will answer my question. Are you referring to the corpse on the bed over there? Or the flower in that pot? Go on. The witches. I know you have dallied with them. Does your mortal heart loathe them? Loathe is a strong word. I'm unsure. No, they were once human. Well, this seems like the kind of time we should say what you want to hear. And we know that you hate those things from the book in the other room. They are vile things. Unhuman. Exactly. The worst is Agatha, head of the cancerous growth. Do not trust her. How so? Agatha is a snake who plays with her food, and you're a mouse. She has a strictly male taste. I'll decide on trust, but note taken, lad. You are a tolerable one. Perhaps I will see you again. Eyes open, mortal. Referring to people as mortal and referring to them as tolerable. Something I should pick up on. If I want to be totally insufferable. It's coming. We cannot stop it. There's part of the tablet. You must be one of the conspirators. Now, I wonder if you came in here seeking comfort and he just gave you the Stonewall treatment until you died. Or if he killed you himself. Got tired of your disobedience. Fool. Thought I was clever using Frank's hideout. The witches nor the Shadow Man can find me. But here's the joke. It doesn't matter because this stone is going to kill me anyway. I should not have agreed. Frank will help. Yes. He can use his magic and save me. I just need to keep my eyes open. You had to have known he was here, but you didn't lift a finger to help. You work in ways beyond our understanding. I mean, something as powerful as you, one would think, could simply snap your fingers and end this. Is it that you can't, or is it you just don't want to? Well, let's continue exploring. It seems the things that die stay dead, which is very useful for us. This house looks to have been fortified. So there's got to be some way inside. This is something that really freaked me out when the performance is taking a hit. This is something that really freaked me out before. This looks to me like a sea mine. Is that what that is? And oh god, something sees me. Alright, it's a head-to-head fight then. Hit you, stagger, back up. It's important that we hit you first, because if you complete that animation, we're not going to be able to back up in time. Come on now. You don't have the benefit of being able to startle you. No stealth. Let her limp a bit. You're using some kind of black speech, but I can't understand a word. Can we break this with this? I do not believe so. This is the kind of game where every type of obstacle requires an item for an item for an item. Yeah, you teleport out of this plane of reality. Dead fish.
Poor catch. The fish looks sickly.
Maybe some curse had affected this town even before everything started happening. We're back where we came in. Oh, now that we're here, it's been a while. We should look at that occult totem again and see what it revealed. I wonder if there's a chance every time. The boon is unveiled. So it's near some water next to a cliff under a building. We can also use the crafting bench near that corpse in the other house. Actually, could that be it right there? Yes, it is! Okay, so we could have found it earlier. We just have to be willing to move around to it. I don't know how sensitive this water is to killing me. Inspect, we get rags and a stamina stimulant. What does a stamina stimulant do? Increases max stamina for 1 minute, but reduces max health for 2 minutes afterward. A yellow-filled syringe. A crude label says, tasty hasty. I don't want to know. Oh, look here, we can also see all of our various stats. Well, we're useless with lockpicking, but we have pretty good occult attunement. Alright, it's time we started making ourselves some useful items. This right here should help. We can make a splint. Fixes fractures and restores a moderate amount of health. A pal of mine broke his leg in the war, and the splint saved him. He can't walk, but he's alive. Alright, let's make one. I'm not going to waste resources on lockpicks right now, because I can barely use them. But I am going to make a couple of bandages. Sorry, we couldn't do a little more for you. Now, about getting into this house. It was a pretty major step forward when I was able to do it in the demo. This door is blocked. Missing Bert and Arthur. Last seen shopping timber. Missing baby Vi. Last seen with Tabitha. Rest in peace. In a small town like this, the same names are going to be coming up a lot. Search party at dawn. Meet at tavern. Report any news. So it's not like this place was a hotbed of devilry. These people cared about each other. It was a nice town, every bit as quaint as it seems. The state we find it in is more of a recent development, although, based on what we heard, it seems like there were always stories. Something is glowing in there. Just scrap metal. And another occult totem. Maybe once we've got our skills up a little more. I don't know if a failure is a failure forever. Anything in there? No. Let it be known, here rests a truly miserable creature of the abhorrent sex. A man who deserves to be chained by his own audacity, like the rest of its male species. It may not perish in these bonds. Its biological curse is endless punishment. Some dark ritual taking place. Frank had mentioned that these things are misandrist witches. Which, I guess, I gotta wonder, is there any other kind? Well, at least of this variety of witch. It explains why the turned that we see are only women. Maybe that's the taste of this Agata. The one controlling them all, the one that causes this descent. Something is listening to us. The sea is listening to us. Whatever this is, maybe it came out of the sea itself. Look at you in your bound iron mask. You have witnessed torture aplenty in your years of conflict, but this is depraved, something beyond human hostility. Well, better poke him with a stick. Kill me already, Bethan, if there's a scrap of you that clings. God, you're conscious? You... a man. I thought none remained standing. You've got to get me out. Slow down. How did this happen to you? She could be listening through my bonds. A spider waiting for tremor of a web. Just get me out. I beg. She? What cruel woman has done this to you? I will not allow my lips to form poison against her whilst condemned. You could be her eye, her test. Free me first. Of course, but where's the key? I think I forged these chains long ago. And perhaps even the key, a forced jest of my own making. If it has escaped this forsaken smithy, then I'm doomed. I'll look around. The irony, you're the blacksmith and you may have made your own chains. Some of these candles have melted, suggesting you've been here for some time already. That door is blocked, but perhaps we can find another way around? In the demo, I spent a long time jumping about in the rafters. Unfortunately, I don't really know of a good way past that. There's Brasco's. That family will have their hands in everything in this town. Whoever owns the big business, they're always the local big shots. Of course, this too is also locked. I think there's a doggy here. And look, we've got some health now. I think the right move is going to be to get... Oh no, come on. You could see me through that? Okay, your perception is insane. Okay, we just need to get hits on. There we go. It seems like your hardiness has been reduced a fair bit from the demo. There is something here, but it's blocked off until we can find the appropriate tools. Ooh, and another of these totems. Once more, though, I'll leave it for later. Here we are, back to the cabin. I did receive a phone call, but not at your request. We can place one of those sigils.
One hell of a house. Wish we knew what's within.
I'm being reminded of Resident Evil Village and 7 simultaneously with this visual. Of course, in there isn't totally safe. There's a body right in front of the gate. And a car with its passenger door open. Well, there's number 1. I don't think I read the papers on this board earlier. Kingsport Keeper's Weekly Bulletin. The Great War may have ceased, but strict alcohol measures will remain in place. Any Brasco stock will be confiscated. Reports of erratic episodes amongst locals have climbed. The sick are encouraged to isolate. Please stop tossing bodies into the sea. A reminder that it is prohibited to climb to the house on the crag. The cliffs are unstable. The house on the crag? Sounds dangerous, but an abandoned house on a mountain? That sounds like fun. We can still see that lighthouse futilely beaming into the skies. House on the crag, what might that be? I'm not seeing much of anything. At least nothing stands out. But it's gotta be foreshadowing, right? Hey there, Victoria, you've just been chilling with the door open? Look at that, I've just realized there's actually a notification on the left for when the gramophone is on. Maybe that helps restore our sanity. You clearly have not lost your expeditionary skill. Alive and breathing. The yellow tablet has been returned. Swell. 2 to go. And remember, Brasco's HQ and, well, I haven't a spark about the king's color. I think it may have to do with the scarves. Let's talk more about the people in Kingsport. Have you noticed someone watching you? Why on earth would you ask me that? Don't be stupid, nobody is watching. I only asked because an odd boy has been watching me. Oh, a mere boy. Stay alert and you'll be fine. Sure. So you believe that if I were to not stay alert, that boy may pose a threat? Perhaps you should get going again. The pressure is culminating. You never spoke about the silent years between us. Time, that jealous beast, never likes to share. And I cast no blame, yet you became distant. It's hard to reach something that doesn't desire it. These years. It wasn't just you pushed away. Forgive me, Victoria. I know you cast your father into silence. He was inconsolable. But fortune favors you. I harbor a stubborn fondness for broken, miserable souls named Jack. Did you spot any sign of my father? Not a whisper. A cradle hope. Time has conspired to bring us here. That mansion will reunite us. I know so. Tell me more about the unfortunates who sailed with us. Anthony, tell me about him. A remarkable engineer and clean freak, plus a charmer. Almost coaxed a blush out of me. Unheard of, even from a big-timer like you. Charm is not going to save our lives, I'm afraid. Perhaps you should try it. Here grating timber may not be Anthony's fluid tones, but grainy honey is still sweet. The doctor, what was his purpose coming? He confided there's a plant here that lulls the mind, but he was reverse engineering it into a sobering tonic. Did you not sniff his eye-watering aromas? The whole point of drinking is to get drunk. Aren't you sharp? Imagine if bars could prolong their customers' desire. It's a gold mine. Immoral, but gold. I do love the banter between us. No trace of the detective either? he just vanished. No pondering. He seemed to know his destination. Wilkins, I think his name was. I'll keep an eye out for them then. Either they know something we don't and may have led us into this, or they can be a wealth of answers. What about the Brascos? They had me intrigued. Stanley's notes had plenty to say. 2 brothers, 1 business. Irwin, younger and a quiet thinker. Then Charles, polarizing charm and the face of it all. That's enough gossip. Let's talk about something else. Can I get your thoughts on some things I found? So you are mission control. Maybe you can even help us if we get stuck. I keep finding teeth. Any idea why? Lovely. And you've collected them with your bare hands. How charming. No, I haven't a clue. I've got these strange cards. They feel odd. They are definitely imbued with a force that amplifies the self, that enhances the mortal threads. Still skeptical of the occult? No, I think that's it for now. Meanwhile, I'll be heading back, I suppose. Getting into that house is my next priority. Oh, look down here, there's like a basement totally overtaken with vines. Oop! We fell. And this gives us a hit marker, but I don't think we can actually open it this way. Now, as for the outhouse, well, we can always find more rags, you know, to undo our fall damage. At least it's one more area opened. Actually, it seems that was probably the only way back there. Now, this big yellow house. I'm trying to remember how I did it. I think it involved jumping up on some of these fixtures. I just saw you moving up there. Don't seem to be spotting me, though. Hey, idiot! Oh, you're mad. You don't have to be mad. Wow, how do you hit me from all the way over there? Well, we're gonna need splint. How do I use you? How do I use you? Okay, I just kept clicking and eventually something worked. That, for the amount of resources, that healed hardly anything. That was pretty awful. Alright, let's use bandages. Not really any better. Wow. That is absolutely pathetic. There needs to be something better than this. Okay, we have 2 options right here. We can run across and jump over to there. Why is the performance behaving like this? We can jump to here, which in turn allows us to jump over there. But for now, that's not what I'm interested in. Black powder. Oh, we really are playing Resident Evil now. We can see one of the tablets inside this room. Alright, if we can get in there, that's our next step. We can also climb this roof. Get us a nice bird's eye view of what's below, so long as we don't slide off the roof. Imagine we fall, break our legs, and then get torn apart by these guys. Yeah, that is a demonic dog. And there's the witches at prayer. There's another one on the other side of the fence, one moving down there. Yeah, needless to say, we don't want to mess with that. Here. You guys don't seem interested in me. Maybe those herbs we've been finding are what the doctor has been interested in collecting. And speared and tied to the balcony. What does that message say? We don't... Oh, we very nearly did not make that. I'll unlock you for ease of use later. The sea is listening to us. That same graffiti over here. Just like before. This door is open. The way the sound is mixed, it's like I can't tell the groans and rasps from the wind. There's a safe right here, but we don't have the combination. It's gotta be in this house somewhere, right? Or if we can figure out who it belongs to, maybe we can find where they work? Fully set out.
Nearly as nice as Father's house. Huh. Seems out of place here. Ghosts. A lot of them.
Dear J.H., isn't this room nearly as nice as your father's house? Can you smell dinner? Your friend within can. Very hungry. A wanderer. This was set out for us. So, do you actually recognize these people? I don't remember if this was in the study before. You know, it's funny, out of the corner of my eye, I thought that was the Grim Reaper holding a scythe and a skull. Okay, now I definitely can hear the mumbling. And we already dealt with one. More teeth. This is a memoir. I've consigned myself to death. My wife is turned. That witch in the church has killed nearly all my fellow men. But she's got another thing coming. Nobody hurts my wife. At the church. I bet that's over... Where did we see it? Over here. But getting to it is another story. You went there yourself, but it's evident that you were not successful. Those are some useful hits! Oh my god, but even one hit on us is basically unacceptable. Oh my god, we can't keep doing this. This restores a small amount of health. How much health is a small amount of health? We really can't take any more. A very small amount. And I don't know how much of this I should be holding on to. We can climb out from here, which means we could have climbed in from here. She is losing her mind. After our little girl disappeared, that female omen befell her. Bethan dregs those hags outside, but she's becoming more like them. Yet she remains my wife and always will, even in this state. I'm sure we can overcome this sorrow together if I just keep her focused and safe. Let's end this. Run. Well, we missed, and oh my god, it's been forever since I saved. It's a bit of a tedious shovel, but you've got to move in and you've got to commit. That's the thing. You need them to stagger. You're in a bit of a different state. You were probably responding to the first one. Now you're moving back. There's an emerald on the windowsill, which I remember we need, but the person we give it to is gone this time around. Okay, this time we back up. You gotta back up first. You gotta make a decision right away. You cannot start with something. Oh my god, you can do that?! That took like all our health! Let's heal, I suppose? Using the splint again. I have never seen one do that before. Maybe you can walk back and then I can ambush you again? I think we can arrange that. Remember, our walk is silent. And now you're down. We just found some gold teeth in a box. Maybe you were collecting them? Although where so many come from is beyond me. But we've got it. Now, there is one other place we still need to go. And that's across here. That's actually a previously unexplored alley, so being able to drop down is a huge deal. Wait. No, I'm convinced we can get up here. Yes. And there is stuff. Look at that. See, the lockpicking and interfacing with various skill checks, that's a thing. But all like the weird quirks of platforming actually do work. Like how we got into the house in the first place. During the demo, it actually made me think that maybe this wasn't how we were supposed to get up anyway, walking past that window along the border. But I guess it works.
I bet that's one of them keys. I can feel it from here.
It's gotta be. Question is, how do we get to it? There's something down there as well. I can hear those things moving around. Some of those witches are in the house. But this door has been barricaded. That's the cool thing about this town. Whenever you're indoors, on the one hand, you're on alert for something to attack you in close quarters, but also, you do feel somewhat safe. On the streets, it feels like a mob of those things could come through at any time. And you get an idea for what some of these villagers' final days were like. They had time to be afraid. This didn't wash over the place all at once. They had time to decide to starve indoors or take their chances outside. More of those green bulbs, like the ones hanging outside Victoria's cabin. That door's blocked. That guy is dead. That door is open, but I think I heard footsteps. There's blood in the outhouse, but no body. And another totem. Occult 4, we're running into more and more of those things, and I'm not quite sure how we increase it from here. It's got a symbol on the door. Howdy! Hello? Retainer? Hang on, let's just put on some music while we're here. That pretty much instantly caused my insanity to go, so I think that confirms what I believed. Seems like you've set up shop in here. Just give me a moment to save and I'll be right with you. Esteemed sir, you look respectable. Please don't let my churlish facade deter you from my trade. Why are you trading in a place like this? My mistress says squander not an opportunity, lest it fleet like a dream. Fancy a gander at my wares? Or perhaps I could lend your assistance. I'd like to know more about you. Me? Sir, there's little to say. I'm just a lucky servant. Tell me about your mistress. Her Eminence sits across the waters to where I will always return. I am never happier than when we share a cup of tea and my Baroness regales her dreams to me. What's with the mask? Alas, only my mistress may see my face. My mask is her wish, and I do not question her erudite eminence. Okay. Well, you're not trying to kill me, so I guess I can entertain this for now. You asked for help earlier. Still want it? My feet only grace this sodden town at the behest of my mistress, the Baroness. Do you know of her brilliance? No, enlighten me. My delicate ladyship is the Baroness, a dreamer. She longs for the fancy lands. I heard this town holds a dreamer's miracle, but I failed her. How so? No dream research I found. I cannot return to my loveliness empty-handed, so I need something to reflect her effulgence. A trio of gems. Shiny shiners. Well, I've already found one. A shiner means something different where I'm from. A wonderful world for something so precious and beautiful. Small yet striking. I'll see if I can find any gems. No promises. I knew you emanated brilliance. All sorts of wonder was found in the mines. I'm sure the miners took some home. I do wish I found the dream knowledge, though. I'll keep an eye out for any dream research as well. Were it not for this humble mask, I might weep. Fear not, for your labor shall not be in vain. Do you crave anything else? No, I think that's all. Let's see what you've got. Everything comes with a cost in teeth. We've got 71. But stimulants are temporary. I can't see these being too worthwhile. A first aid kit and maybe a sledgehammer, maybe more so. But I think I'm good for now. You don't seem to buy things, but that's alright. Let me just save again. And we'll get back to exploring this town's mysteries. Now, this episode is likely to be quite a bit longer than other episodes. I just want to make sure that we get through everything I got through in the demo. I can hear something walking around up there. Sinner's card. Can choose another. These are different. Increases occult skill by level 1. Increases occult skill by 2. Required disciple. Passively increase health restoration threshold by 10% while out of combat. That could be useful. talkative, increases speech skill by 1. So there's multiple sides to these also, multiple decks. Only some are available at this moment, though. I think Disciple is the way to go. Confirm. So that we can start using more of these totems. There's some real performance issues like stuttering, and I'm not quite sure why. I don't remember if that was happening before. Wait, there's another emerald just right there! Oh, that's easy to miss. That means that we're only currently missing 1. Thank you. There is one here, but maybe we can sneak around? Not if you'll keep turning your gaze like that, we can't. Just, please allow me the indulgence of taking some wares from your shop of horrors. Your little shop of horrors? You know what? Screw you. Open up. Wait. I don't know if you still move while I'm reading, so I'm gonna wait a moment. You're easy enough to avoid. That's an axe.
What do we have here? Not happening. You're not a mule.
Oh, come on. You're really gonna inventory manage me out of this? Okay, let's move this stuff over. There we go. Probably don't need the knife anymore, right? A whole lot of additional pathways have just opened up before us. We in fact don't even need to pass you again, but I'd imagine this is probably a better weapon than the sickle, right? I don't know, but we can find out. You know what? Doing extra damage on stealth might have been a card that I chose last time. Maybe it's something I should have chosen this time. Well, that didn't go according to plan. In fact, I seem to remember you being bugged last time I played. You wouldn't attack me. Let's wait a bit and return for the note. This is a lot of fun, just choosing my own path, choosing how I go about things. I mean, this is why Resident Evil 2 got me so into survival horror games, like real survival horror games, because, you know, managing the inventory, choosing what I craft stuff into, and having the option to run, hide, or fight, that's something that's really adding a lot to horror, in my opinion. I can't recall my name. She came last night. I wanted to be afraid, truly, but her voice was soft like Granny's. Her touch gentle, unlike Alan's. Over the past few hours, my hair has fallen out. So have my teeth. I'm hideous. I can't speak properly. I crave flesh, dripping and warm. I don't want to end up like the other women. Remember me. It's not just a descent, it's a tragic descent. Down we go. And we shall save once more, but not before opening up this door. Locked, right? Hey bud, found 2 out of 3. We have a lot of materials in our inventory, but unfortunately not a lot of recipes. This stuff is just taking up space, really. It's taking up space in our storage as well, although we can scroll down. Alright, might as well keep some of this. Now, what about that other door we could open? We can break this so we're not totally trapped. We've been totally decapitated. Something's in here with us. Haul of the month. 2 salmon, 6 trout, 1 ing with tentacles. 2 bodies, like last month. Sick folk. Weren't exactly literate, were you? Can take this first aid kit, and by this stage, we're almost needing it.
Solemn. No surprise there.
It depicts a lighthouse, maybe this lighthouse. Oh my god, don't do that. Me. Oh my, this seems like the wrong place to be. Nope! Get out of the door! Oh god, we killed you, but your body is holding it open. Oh, that's not good. We're gonna have to fall back. That cost us some health. Oh, but we can break through and get that tablet now. Restores a large amount of health and cures most physical ailments. The real deal. A carefully assembled medical kit. Don't know if I want to use that just yet, but I don't have much else. Perhaps we do. We may not survive another hit. Perhaps with the herbs. Something for the time being. I'm counting on finding more. More teeth in the lockbox? The Black Day awaits.
Such force. Like tiny needles in my skin. It's enticing.
They were all willing to take these things, scatter them to the ends of the town to make sure nobody opened those gates, gave their lives. Sedative. What does sedative do? Restores a large amount of sanity and cures most mental ailments. Soothes my spirit. A momentary relief from the encroaching madness. Now, your mention of ailments is really interesting because it seems like, in addition to our damage, we can actually get more permanent effects, which require more permanent solutions to cure. Got you. This is a totem like the ones around town, but we can't interact with it. Gained access to the other part of the house, the part they barricaded, which means we can assume they considered it lost. It sounds like she's munching on some flesh. The shadow of a witch in the fires behind the corner. We need to back up. If we're not staggering you, we're not helping our cause. Nope. There we go. This axe is pretty good. See, this is the kind of game where you really have to feel the combat. And what I learned last time is that you really want to make sure that they don't get to launch into an attack. Most enemies in games have a fake-out attack, where they go to do something and screw up your timing, and then get the hit on you. But if we back away, they won't do that attack. Open the door in a couple of directions. To here, which is fine. And to the town proper. Make our way back, because I believe I saw something here. Besides the fleshy chum, absolutely mulched flesh, which contains a skeleton.
I can taste the iron. It's like a congealed mass in my throat.
And now, thanks to that description, so can I. It looks like there's also candles burning in the basement. It seems that each witch answers to their archwitch, and they'll carry out their own little horror shows wherever. Such as the one in the blacksmith shop. Don't worry, I'm working on it. But now we've got 3 emeralds, which means we can earn your favor. That was a lot easier than last time. Are these emeralds shiny enough? Look at how they shine. They will twinkle in the fancy lands and set her aside as the most brilliant. Make sure they go to use. Emeralds aren't cheap. You shall be rewarded. A discount off all my wares. Just for you, sir. The haggard women will be oh so jealous. I appreciate that. Everything is decently discounted. 1/6 off. But I think I'm good for now. Here's a totem.
I don't even want to know. Victoria would have a field day here.
For sure, but if she's so excited, she can come down and do this. Even the axe can't penetrate these writhing roots. But some gold teeth will help me in the shop. Well, let's pay attention to all that's opened up, because that's a lot of things around the place. Anybody here? Music would seem to indicate that somebody's here. There's a well. Scary things happen in wells and cables.
Like this.
There is something somewhere. I don't know where, though. Oh, there's a dog through there. November 18th. Or 19th? Still saving up to see my Margaret in Arkham. Every sale adds to my travel fund. I reread her letter recently. I miss my little one so much. Bragged to the neighbors about what a clever girl she is. She's safer there. November 21st? That woman came by. Even asked for a discount. She'd probably ask for my daughter if she could get away with it. I hate her for taking away my love. Hate her for making my own little one growing up without a father. I know it was her. We need leverage. We're not going to be able to break that open. Oh, don't do this. More planks. Some you. Yeah, dog. I don't care. Maybe we can use this to get around you? We can get into this house as well. Let's open up every connection you can find. Hey there, bud. So the key has got to be here somewhere. Maybe hidden under the stairs that you've barricaded for some reason? Well, there's an intellect stimulant. Keep us safe from the horrors of the mind. We would need lockpicking 5. A poorly made key. And a note. Gumshoe Shack, tonight. Watch the dark trips you not. Wait, watch the dark trips you not. 11:30, lunar. Mother is like an owl. I must wait till she is truly dreaming. Marry me. You won't need to sneak then. One day. I promise. Remember, 11:30 lunar. Only initials, but the more we learn about the townspeople, maybe we can figure out. We can use this to climb on. Do you see what I mean? There's this web of connections everywhere. Little ways tools interact with the environment. Little progress as you go. You may get one big objective, but exploration is the constant one. Oh, that dog is angry. I'm gonna leave you for now. We've got the key. Maybe we can use it with you? I've got a key here. There you go. Unfortunately, I don't know if I can help you with the mask. You've got nothing to say. You're free, but you're going nowhere. I hope that's not a bug. You've really got nothing to say to me? All right. Anyway, maybe we can get the drop on that dog. Get a free and easy hit. Potentially even sneak around it all together. Although something tells me that part might be a bit much to ask for. Oh, there's two of them. Okay, we're going in. Two of them, screw that. I have very limited health in my life. Oh, we're lighting the witch's red candles. Finding a lot of materials. Exploring in the dark, lighting candles. Trying to learn what happened with the ambient groans and creaks of the wood and the monsters outside. This game has got atmosphere, I have got to say. In fact, pushing into a dark room with a lighter kind of reminds me of The Long Dark. You also want a triangle key. In fact, it may even be the other side of the same door. I'm not quite sure where we are. It's like they tunneled into the earth to do something. Maybe they even dragged their victims down. This whole place is a slaughterhouse. So much blood, yet still no bodies.
This is madness. Nothing about this is remotely normal.
Corpse strung up with effigies all around. Did they do this to you, or did you do this to yourself and they built this around you, or maybe this is some good luck charm to ward them off? Those employed by Brasco's Limited to the excavation in the mines are required to sign and commit to zero communication of said activities. This is corporate secrecy, and those employed shall reap benefits once all is complete. Once what is complete? The black? You Brascos condemn us all to the gullet of the shadowed abyss. What is beneath should remain so. The Brascos were themselves dabbling in the occult. I mean, see their door lock, that should be obvious, but there was something they found in the mine. Alright, I'll take another Sinner's card. And I'll get the talent for stealth kills if at all possible. Nope, we've got to use these. Talkative is probably a good one. Getting skills early means we'll miss fewer opportunities.
A tablet. It makes me dizzy. I'm sure Victoria will have a theory.
I spent the entire search through this house chasing the sound of those snarls, and I found nothing. Well, it kept me on edge for sure. And here's the thing, seeing them tunnel under the houses, knowing that this came from the mine, not necessarily the sea, at least not this time. What does that mean? Do they claw their way out? Or do they claw their way back? I had a dream once, to sit behind my own desk. Part of me knew digging deeper was a bad idea. He always had a nasty streak. We both do. But something changed in him. I could see it, and his own wife saw it too late. I was too late. I'm dying, but my secret study paid off. Elder brother, we can both have secrets. Many. She chose you in life, but maybe she'll choose me in death. Typical human backstabbing and greed, even as you undertake such a task. And now we have all 3 tablets to unlock the mansion gates. Doesn't seem like we had the ability to try the phones as we were instructed to do.
Desk, huh? A pitiful end for a man.
Is it? From the mist he brings the end. So now the question, of course, is who's he? Alright, there's plenty more to do here, but let's start making our way back. We open the front door. Back into town. Just what we need. Let's go. Let's knock this down. Don't think I forgot about you. And we find some loot and notes. Wednesday 11th. 2 milliliters. Wow. I'm skipping in the lilac fields every time I close my eyes. The herb is a miracle. Yellow lotus, coined and discovered by Dr. Marie Sims. I've almost finished my book. Chasing Dreams has a nice ring. It sounds like a drug trip to me. Friday the 13th. The sneaking scab who owns the warehouse has stolen some of my work. I've spied him lurking. There was a slight tussle over my book, resulting in a torn page. Rat. I'll sneak into the warehouse when I feel well. Science cannot be stopped. Chasing dreams, eh? Perhaps this counts as dream knowledge? Also, it seems that quest items at least don't always take up space. Oh, nope, there it is. A book on dream research and other herbal discoveries. Not my usual choice. Well, let's go see the man then. He'll want to see this. Completed another task for you. I found this book on dreams and other research. Interested? Look-see here. Not dream-related, but you can use Gallerina mushrooms to caress trauma. How fitting. My special stock expands, just for you. I wouldn't say no to that. Oh, Nancy's screw. Some scoundrel has desecrated this magnificent work. A page torn. How will I glean the dream discovery? My sir, we cannot leave this unfinished. Forgive me, but how am I going to sniff out a single page? I plead, my sir. If there is nothing of indication left by the doctor herself, then I am stumped. My greatest apologies. I guess the hunt continues. Well, I guess that means the warehouse is our only lead. Look at stock. You say it expands soothing powder recipe. The sledgehammer is going to be necessary, I imagine. But recipes are recipes, and it couldn't hurt. So let's buy that. I think I'm good for now. Let's see what that actually does. Restores a moderate amount of sanity and cures most mental ailments. Not my preferred preparation, but it calms the mind. Well, maybe it'll be more useful later. Is there anything new you'd like to say to me? I think you'd like to investigate these tablets. How well you still know me after all this time? Let's take a look-see. found a purple tablet. Made me feel quite lightheaded. Thinking on old studies, I believe the keepers closed the gate with a living seal, infusing the stones with their own life force. Surely that's not safe. Yes, they would have gradually died, but such a leeching ritual is potent. I can read an echo from what's within. Take a look at this one. Reams of conflict, thoughts of hushed jealousy, a brother changed, a murder of unspoken love. On a dead man's desk, the building was called Brascos. Erwin, the younger brother, he was grieving over someone that wasn't his. The thought breaks my heart. What about the green tablet? I could feel it from afar. Hate and suspicion, mostly for the Brascos. That alone explains why the energy here is so potent, so steeped in unrest. He was suspicious of the Brascos? Possibly. Resentment ran deep. He was convinced malice was being fostered within the mansion, and then the madness began. He had to act. What are you reading? A copy I made of Stanley's book, Kingsport Folktales. Do not tell him I did such a thing. He will get in a right lather. It survived the wreck? Somehow, the ink is bested the sea. The problem is Stanley's penmanship. Absolutely atrocious. Yeah. He's all about that de novo, huh? Doesn't want you copying his stuff? But I think we've done enough for this part. There's still plenty I want to see in town down there, a lot we didn't explore. But this was the main objective of the demo. And here we are.
A fitting host for the unknown.
It's hard to tell, but I just faintly swear I can see someone standing up there watching me. Now it's unmistakable. Well, we've caught up to our progress, but unfortunately, learning what horrors and secrets lurk within is going to have to wait until next time. Until then, if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try this game out for yourself, that link will also be in the description. If you want to support me on Patreon, that link will be in the description. And as always, I will see you in the next one.